I'm falling out. I'm falling out. I'm falling out. I'm falling.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Dave back from AngerBox with our second installment of The Social with my sidekick, Jimmy.
This is Jimmy from AngerBox.
So, here we are joined tonight with our singer, Nick Boren. Say hi, Nick.
What's up?
Nick,
So
did you catch the last show, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some really good feedback, had a lot of views. A lot of people reached out to us about wanting to be on a future show. Pretty exciting things for our first episode.
Yeah, not too bad, man. Got a couple that want to come on, so.
With that being said, man, Dave, cue up some tunes. Let's talk some box while we listen to AngerBox.
Right, no doubt. Get some shots ready. Hope everybody out there has been having a wonderful COVID experience.
It's been great. It cancels everything.
For could be, that's probably kind of loud, isn't it?
I think that's good right there.
Right there?
So, Nick, man, how did you get started in music, and tell us about your entry into AngerBox?
Well, music, I guess, started for me when I was pretty young, like 13-ish. I was in middle school, and I took chorus in school just as as one of the electives, and it was kind of fun, and I got pretty good at singing, doing a lot of music theory and stuff like that. And then I never really wanted to be in a band until like my early 20s. And then I got with another local band called Broken. And that's actually how I came across you guys, because they were out of Confluence, PA. And we came up to Woodchucks in Cumberland, played a show there. And Chris Spiker, the drummer, actually saw us there. And his cousin Lincoln was the one who he reached out to me whenever you guys lost Brett. So whenever that all happened, she said, "Hey, they're doing auditions. You should go up there."
Yeah, we had a few people show up for auditions that night, and we didn't know what to expect because Brett was kind of a very unique singer himself, and we didn't know which direction we were going to go with him departing. When you auditioned, were you nervous with us? Were we intimidating to work with, or what was the deal?
Definitely you. Jimmy specifically was pretty hard pressed for somebody who's going to take it seriously, and I was there thinking like, hey, I'm going to shoot my shot and see what happens and have a good time. And I think Dave and Chris were pretty much like, hey, let's have a good time. And Jimmy was not easily impressed, but I think by the end of it, we were all on the same vibe. And I gotta say, I've been in a few bands, and this has always felt like a family. And from going in there from day one, something just clicked. And I mean, I think that's why I'm still in this for sure.
How you feel about that, Dave?
I agree.
I agree.
Sorry, folks, we were having some little audio issues off the camera here. Hey, it's only our second installment. We're working it out. So
I think I'm back.
Yeah, there you are.
All right. Dave asked Nick a question. See what we got going on here.
All right, let's see here, Nick. What do we got for you today? Local standout musician to you. Oh, I want to grab the whiskey already. Shout out to Tommy Hare, too, by the way, for Broken.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Old friend of mine, yep. What's up, Tom?
Local standout musician. Over the last few years, I haven't really... I was never in the music scene, but since I joined in 2015 with you guys, I've gotten to know a lot of the musicians, and there's a lot of talent out there. But for me, Derek O'Neill, the current lead guitarist of Savage Road, and to step into Cody Bittinger's shoes like that, and I mean, he was with Worn Out Flannels for a good bit of time, and I had seen him doing that, but man, he really stepped up his game. And I remember the first time I saw the new Savage Road play with him, I was just blown away by what he did, and came up to him, and I found out later that he's into metalcore and metal, and I jammed with him on some metal recordings, and that's pretty cool. He's a hell of a musician.
Yes, he is. I know Derek. He's very well rounded. Probably even way past my talent, I'll tell you that.
You know, whenever they had that lineup change, I didn't know what to expect because they had some pretty high caliber musicians depart from the band. But
Shout out
when the
Derek,
new lineup showed up, I was so impressed. I mean, those guys just jived together well, and it was a lot of musicians that typically weren't playing the style, and it came together. And you know, the Savage Road we're hearing today is a pretty impressive Savage Road to go check out every weekend they play.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was expecting them to carry the torch the way they have. I mean, it's definitely been impressive.
Well, let's do a shot here, fellas. Let's do a social for everybody out there.
Yeah, seeing as the show is called The Social.
Got some Honey Jack here. Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody out there. Ooh,
Good stuff.
Honey Jack. That is Honey Jack, right?
Yeah, it's
Honey Jack. Yeah, we're drinking Honey Jack.
Yeah.
We like our whiskey in AngerBox.
Yeah, I got accustomed to that. I was never really into it, but when you become a part of AngerBox, you learn how to party.
Responsibly, though. We always make sure everybody's got a ride. We don't let people drink and drive.
Yep.
People come to my house and stay. I brought people home. Jimmy rides me or whoever. We try to keep it as safe as we can anyway. So,
Nick, what was your first show like with AngerBox like? What happened there?
My first show. Oh, man. Let's see. That was Zonus, the return of AngerBox. I remember that. Which is currently the Steel Pony, but the Zonus. That was the first time that I realized that, I mean, you guys were the real deal. A lot of drinking that I couldn't handle, and I remember the first two sets, and then after that, Lincoln, actually, the one who got me the audition, came up. Lincoln Humberson came up and had to sing a few songs to get me back on my feet. And I remember that at the end of the night, you pulled a Big Daddy on me. Jimmy took his sunglasses off and gave them to me and said, just put the sunglasses on.
So you're invisible, man.
So you're invisible. And I turned around and gave it everything I had. That was one of the best nights. Yeah, that was a good time.
I remember that night.
I was pretty shit-faced.
With that being said, Dave asked the next question about the do's and don'ts.
Oh.
The do's and don'ts of the frontman.
Ooh. This one's a little controversial, I guess, because a lot of people think that to be a good front man, you got to be drunk and party and make sure you're having a good time and all that. And that's true, but I think that something I've learned over the years is, as much as I love drinking and losing consciousness a little bit on stage, your live show definitely suffers. So
Yes,
I've gone back and forth with it, but more recently, I don't drink at shows anymore.
Right.
Maybe if we're playing on the river and everybody's
it's a
having
party
a good time,
or something,
it's a party.
right? Yeah, I got you.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you got a job to fulfill, and
Right.
you got to make sure that you're there to do it. For drinking specifically, your vocal cords suffer on stage. Obviously, you can't always speak right. You slur your words and stuff. You can't remember everything. Walking around look like an idiot.
Right.
So
Yeah, I definitely respect the shit out of you now that you keep it at that level at at one stage now, because I definitely remember a time where, you know, as guitar players, we just let it fly all night, and as a singer, I couldn't do it. There was no fucking way in hell that I could sing for 3 hours and drink on top of it. So,
Right.
you know, to focus on the music when the band's playing and not worry about the party so much, that means a lot to me from a bandmate perspective.
yeah. We've had a couple nights where it became a problem, and you had some words with me. So, yeah. I guess
Speaking of do's and don'ts,
another do that I don't know if every singer does, and maybe they think it's kind of cheesy or whatever, but you can ask my wife. I do warm-ups on the way to shows every single show. I have a warm-up CD that I took from the Zen of Screaming, Melissa Cross's tutorial on how to scream and stuff, and that thing just warms your voice, and you move your tongue around, you move your lips around, make sure everything's warmed up, ready to go, and that makes a huge difference, and
Right.
I don't think a lot of singers know that.
moving on, man. What is your favorite moment in your entire music career?
I've had a lot of good ones, but the first one that comes to mind is definitely, again, Woodchucks, where it all started. I think it was about 1.5 to 2 years into my experience with AngerBox. We were playing at Woodchucks and singing at the time our only original song, "I'll Find You Here," and I remember that really this was the moment that sealed the deal for me, that let me know, like, I want to do this professionally, because up to that point I was having a good time, still like have a job, have a family, have kids, all that, but that was the moment. And what happened was we were in the middle of the song and we were coming up on the bridge, and all of a sudden the power went out. And when the power went out, we kept playing, everybody on stage, and the whole audience sang with me all the way to the end of the song. They knew every word. They were singing loud enough. I mean, it was surreal. That was the best.
You see that kind of thing on like YouTube videos that have a shit ton of views, but when you see it at a local show and everybody sticks with it till the end, those are those moments that we get that we have to keep, because we're not big stage rock stars right now. And so when that kind of thing happens, it's like, wow, I'm a part of this right now, and they are too.
Well, and especially for it to be the only original song we had at the time, for them to know all the words and be able to sing with it, it's huge.
So, Nick, now that you've got to be in the seat on the show, who would you like to see on a future show?
I'm going to nominate Chucky Dawson, who was the old frontman from Forecast Calls for Flames, which was
Chucky.
Our sister band starting out and everything. I got a cool story about that if you got time. Whenever I first joined AngerBox, we did the audition, and then afterwards they were playing a show locally, and the guys here were like, hey, we're going to go support them and go see them. They're kind of like our sister band, whatever. I was like, all right, cool. And we went out there, and Dave walked up to him, and he said, hey, this is going to be our new singer. And he was like, all right, cool. Do you know The Red and Mud Shovel? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right. And then he just announced that I was going to come on stage, and I was drunk, and I was like, what? That was so cool. And he's a hell of a front man. I mean, I've taken a lot of notes from him as far as stage presence and all that stuff. I mean, he's a hell of a singer, and he always brings a party. And man, Forecast Calls for Flames, if those guys ever got back together, they'd give us a run for our money, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, Chucky, he's a beast. When it's showtime for him. Like he could have a shitty rehearsal, shitty practice, not even practice.
Yeah, because he played in Dookie with him.
He didn't put a lot of effort into it, but when it was showtime, game on. It was He delivered every time, running around singing like a madman, and a lot of respect for Chucky. I always have had a lot of respect for him. Speaking of Forecast Calls for Flames and AngerBox, if you go to on our YouTube page, there's a video of Forecast Calls for Flames and AngerBox covering the same song at the same time.
That was wild.
On the same stage.
Mike both drum kits and everything.
That was one of the coolest moments in my whole music career, because for not ever attempting that before, not even knowing that we were going to do it, it was tight. It was really, really tight. And, it's not every day that you get to pull something like that out with a whole full band of a whole another band. So that's one of those moments I cherish.
9 musicians at a time.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah. Sound man was probably like, what the fuck?
2 drum kits going.
Shout out to John Braid on that one.
So Dave, take us to our next segment.
All right, guys.
Look what we found.
Look what we found.
So what happens in Look What We Found, Dave?
It'll be if we hear of another local band that's got some originals out, or any other band that's out there that happens to catch our podcast or streams or our YouTube channel, just hit us up and get it to us, and we will try to play it.
I got an idea, Dave. We're in Beyond Down Studios right now. You do have a studio.
In my kitchen now.
We're in the kitchen studio.
We're in the kitchen studio.
But we have a mobile studio for the podcast, but there's a real live studio here at Beyond Down Studios as well. So if you do have some original music, maybe haven't had the opportunity to get it recorded, our guitar player in AngerBox operates a fully functional studio. Not to mention, he will mix and produce you guys and give you some great feedback. In addition to that, our management has full light and sound production. So if you're in a position for a show and, AngerBox isn't booked, he might be available. And, for the full product he can give you as far as sound and lights go, it's worth every penny of it. We're completely satisfied where we are.
speaking of our management, we'll probably have Patrick on the show here to discuss the live PA and the shit we put him through. So we'll have him on here soon, guys. And
Absolutely.
probably have some other people on. If you guys, anybody out there you want to be on, Dean Kramer, anybody, Harley Coon, hit us up, man.
Yeah. What about the shows coming up this weekend? What we got?
We have Friday at Thirsties for a Halloween bash. That's the 30th.
The 30th, the Thirsties.
At Thirsties at 8, right? It starts at 8 or so?
I think it starts at 8. We're inside, I believe, too.
Yes, inside.
So it'll be nut to butt. We'll have fun.
And then Saturday, we're at the Outdoor Club.
And we just found out Savage Road's now on the bill with us.
Yes, Savage Road is now. Angie's still healing from her surgery, so Teresa Jane had to gracefully back out. So
we are going to make that show up with them at some point. Just so everybody knows, that show is going to happen at some point.
And we're praying for Angie for a speedy recovery. So.
But yeah, Savage Road with AngerBox at Outdoor Club Saturday, Halloween costume party. It's going to be a blast. You want to end with another shot? Another for the social here?
Let's do another one.
Good thing I'm not singing tonight.
I'm not sure where we're at, guys, on the time on this one, but appreciate you guys. These, I guess some of these will be on Facebook. Are you going to put this on Facebook, or are you going to wait for YouTube?
We're going to wait for YouTube.
They'll eventually be on YouTube. Yeah. Or vice versa. You can always catch it at AngerBox Official, though. Everything we do will end up there.
And if you don't get out to support us this weekend, there's so many local events going on. Everybody's playing everywhere. I think it's Drunk After Midnight is at Thirsties Saturday night. Is that right?
I believe so.
And the Travis Minnick Band is at Hometown Pizza in Fenzel. I know there's various other bands. Who's at Lash Balls? Is it Forgenstall?
Yeah,
Forgenstall, Lash Balls. So there's plenty of stuff going on this weekend.
Hit us up.
Yeah, support local music, whatever you do. You don't have to come see us.
All right, guys.
All right.
Social.
Cheers. Thanks for watching the social.
Cheers, guys.
Peace.